Luca was extremely fun. He was the person that could always make someone laugh on a bad day.
The fentanyl epidemic.
Amanda Faith Eubanks says her son Luca was a bright light who held his first toy drive in lieu of receiving presents when he was 5.
He really shined in service of others. It made him feel really good about himself. And, he had some lower self-esteem from being bullied. He was a little bit overweight for his age, so he had been bullied for that. So, living outside of himself and doing things for others really just helped keep his mental health in check.
Luca sits in a log fort.
She and her ex-husband had caught him experimenting with marijuana. They went to therapy and things seemed to be better. But after a root canal, the Redding, California teenager sought something stronger than ibuprofen for the pain.
He reached out to a Snapchat dealer and got what he thought was a Percocet. That ended up being pure fentanyl. There was none of the pain reliever in the tablet whatsoever.
At just 13 years old, Luca died from fentanyl poisoning the day before going back to in-person school.
It was the 12th of August, 2020. And, his father called me and he said, "It's Luca. Luca's dead." And I got there in time to hold Luca in a body bag. They wouldn't let me see him.
Sadly, Luca's story has become all too common. Each day, 20 people ages 10 to 24 die from overdoses, 75% of them fentanyl-related. For Amanda Faith Eubanks, the goal is to remove the stigma of fentanyl poisoning and inform other parents before it's too late.
If we don't do something about it, it is going to overtake us.
What is up, guys? What is up, guys? This is Corey. Say no to drugs. Just do it. Say no. What are you thinking? Say no.
Fentanyl is a highly potent opioid. It's at least 50 times more potent than heroin. People are being exposed to fentanyl without knowing it. And because it's so highly potent, people are dying at unprecedented rates. What's happened in the United States is fentanyl has entered into all these different parts of our drug supply, including the heroin supply. Cocaine, for example, have increasingly been tainted with fentanyl. Pills that are sold on the street that might look like regular prescription pills are very often fake counterfeit pills that have been made with fentanyl in them. Someone experiencing an overdose will have this decrease in breathing, might lose consciousness, might start to turn blue or pale, and within a few minutes can die. Narcan is sprayed up the nose, which is very easy for people to administer. It's safe, it's effective. There's virtually no downside to doing so. It's a critical tool that I encourage everybody to carry with them, to have in their homes so that they can act quickly if they need to. From 2019 to 2021, overdose deaths among 10 to 19-year-olds in the United States more than doubled. In pediatrics, we're not used to our young, healthy patients suddenly dying from things like overdoses. But it's increasingly become a reality for so many of us who practice right now. I have had patients die. I've had patients whose family members have died. And all of these people are children, brothers, sisters, moms, dads, family members, and they're all loved. And these deaths are often unexpected and tragic.
A friend is overdosing, first thing, call 911, and then you're going to administer Narcan. You're going to put this right up somebody's nostril, push the red plunger in, and then put on your timer for 2 minutes and wait to see if the person wakes back up. If they don't wake up after that first dose, you're going to grab another thing of Narcan, put it in the opposite nostril, and do the same thing. Most people will wake up with 1 or 2 doses, but theoretically they could need more, so continue repeating this process until the person wakes up or until help arrives. It's really quite easy to use and also really quite easy to save a life. Narcan is available over the counter, but there are also countless ways to get it for free. If you suspect a friend is overdosing, first thing, call 911, and then you're going to administer Narcan. You're going to put this right up somebody's nostril, push the red plunger in, and then put on your timer for 2 minutes and wait to see if the person wakes back up. If they don't wake up after that first dose, you're going to grab another thing of Narcan, put it in the opposite nostril, and do the same thing. Most people will wake up with 1 or 2 doses, but theoretically they could need more, so continue repeating this process until the person wakes up or until help arrives. It's really quite easy to use and also really quite easy to save a life. Narcan is available over the counter, but there are also countless ways to get it for free.
Of the chocolate chip cookie effect, and do you know why it's so important to test the entire pill when you're checking for fentanyl? When it comes to counterfeit pills, fentanyl is kind of like the chocolate chips in a chocolate chip cookie. When the pills are made, the fentanyl isn't spread evenly throughout the mixture. Instead, it's kind of scattered randomly, just like the chocolate chips in a chocolate chip cookie. When you use test strips, they detect if fentanyl is present, which can literally save your life. But here's the catch. If you don't test the whole pill, you might miss the part that contains the fentanyl. Imagine this. You break off a piece of a cookie, and that piece of a cookie doesn't contain any chocolate chips. But that doesn't mean the rest of the cookie is chocolate-free. The same goes for pills. Just because part of the pill tests negative doesn't mean the whole pill is safe. Remember, it only takes a tiny amount of fentanyl, the size of a few grams of salt, to be lethal. And if you didn't get the pill from a doctor, there's a 60% chance that it contains fentanyl. Bottom line, you can never be too safe.